What's up, Daily Crew? So recently I've been preaching a lot to victims of sexual assault about speaking out about their experiences, to unburden themselves, as well as to make the perpetrators of these offenses possibly come to atone for what they've done. And I'm realizing that, after saying all of that, that I am a hypocrite. Recently I was involved with a video of a friend of mine where he asked us to talk about what we thought consent was and maybe share a story. And I had no intention of making it personal, but when I started to talk about my own personal experience, I couldn't stop. After talking about it, I realized that there was a lot of feelings that I had just swept under the rug and tried to forget about, but we're still there. The truth of the story is, when I was in college, I was raped. Now I'm sure some of you are gonna scoff at that and ask how that's even possible for a man to get raped. And that's part of the reason why I never said anything about it. But now that I have a platform the way that I do, I feel like now is the time to talk about it. When I was in college, I was in a fraternity, and within the Greek system, we would throw barn parties. Now mind you, I went to Illinois State University, so I pretty much went to school in the middle of cornfields. And so finding a barn to party in was not really difficult. You'd get dressed up in like stereotypical farmer wear, like overalls and flannel and stuff like that, and basically just go drink and party on hay bales in someone's barn. One of the sororities was throwing their barn party, so I got invited by a girl who I'd recently met, but she seemed nice enough, so I was like, sure, why not? Sounds like fun. When I got to college, I had very little experience with drinking. I didn't drink at all in high school, and on the ride out to the barn, I noticed that my date had all these little plastic baggies full of hard liquor. I thought it was pretty inventive, especially because, I was only 18 at the time, so you had to be careful with not getting caught with the alcohol because, in the United States, under 21, it's illegal. I wanted to get a good buzz going, so I partook in the alcohol, and I partook all night. It seemed like every time I turned around, she had her little baggie. She's like, you want some more? And I drank way too much. By the end of the night, I was what you'd consider blackout drunk. I was still able to kind of move around, but I don't really remember a lot towards the end of the night. She ended up having to take care of me, and she suggested that she take me back to her dorm room and she'll take care of me, and I agreed. One part of getting into bed with her that I do remember had to do with her having a bunk bed, because we were in a dorm and she was on the top bunk, and I remember like pretty much almost hurting myself trying to get up there. But the second that I got into the bed, I knocked out cold. And the next time that I woke up, she was on top of me, and we were in the middle of having sex. I thought, how is this even happening? When did I say that this was okay? I thought, I'm a man, I'm stronger than her, I should be able to push her off, but I was so dumbfounded by what was happening that I was frozen. I thought, I'm a man, obviously if I have an erection, I wanted it, but my body was reacting separately from whatever conscious brain I had left. I thought, I'm a man. I should want sexual advances from a woman, but I didn't, and I didn't know what to do. And the next day I woke up, said nothing, and walked out. I went to confide in a friend of mine, and when I used the word rape, it was met with a giggle, and men can't be raped, just be glad you got laid. Mortifying. I then ended up talking to someone who had been through a similar situation, and he said when he reported it to the police, they didn't take him seriously and nothing was done. Because as men, well, we're just supposed to want it. And that's wrong. More than 5 million men in the United States have been made to penetrate someone, whether it's by coercion, intimidation, or the fact that they were incapacitated. Arousal is not consent. It's a mechanical, biological response to stimulus. Trust me that if I could have stopped, I would have. Now, I'm not trying to take anything away from sexual assault on women. All I'm asking is to take all rape or sexual assault cases seriously, regardless of gender or sexuality or race or anything. It's all bad. No one should be afraid to speak out for fear of ridicule. This is not a joke. On average, 60% of sexual assault cases are never reported, and I feel like that number will go way down if the people who sexual assault or rape happens to knows that if they come forward, someone will listen to them, and that the people who perpetrate sexual assault will be made responsible for their actions. So if someone comes to you with a story like mine, take them seriously. It took a lot for them to speak up in the first place. I'm not even sure what to say for the comments. Just whatever. Just tell me your thoughts. Yesterday I talked about the new sexual assault law in California. If you want to see the video on that, click here and make sure to subscribe button because I post videos every single day. Thumbs up equals a kiss and a favorite equals a hug. So hugs and kisses. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Pew 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 pew. Situation, or maybe weren't even conscious enough due to drugs or alcohol to say no, nodding yes or sliding closer to the